Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome you to the Harlan Municipal Utilities Board of Trustees meeting. We have Jim Shelton online.
Jim, can you hear us?
I'd like to call the meeting to order. We would need approval of the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Hammer, aye.
Michelle, aye.
Seibert, aye.
Our next item is approval of the consent agenda. All items listed under the consent agenda will be enacted by one motion with a roll call vote. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a request is made prior to the time the board votes on the motion. Consent agenda items may include non-controversial subjects. A. Minutes of the August 10, 2023 electronic board meeting. B. Abstract of claims number 1242 in the amount of $944,279.81. C. Upcoming board meetings. September 14th, 2023 electronic board meeting. September 28th, 2023 regular board meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Hammer, aye.
Michelle, aye.
Seibert, aye.
Number 4, enrollment in the Iowa Department of Revenue Offset Program, replacing the State of Iowa Income Offset Program.
Yeah, I guess it's just another, it's the same program. This program is to offset unpaid utility billings against the customer's income tax returns. So I guess it's just another department, or they're just renaming it? Or
it used to be the Department of Administrative Services, and now it's the Department of Revenue.
So still same program, just...
So do we need a...
Yeah, a vote, please.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we enroll in the Iowa Department of Revenue Offset Program.
I'll second that.
Roll call.
Hammer, aye.
Michelle, aye.
Seibert, aye.
Jim, are you still on the phone? Okay.
Item number 6, annual GIS billing in the amount of $15,000.
This is HMU's contribution for GPS mapping, GIS mapping service that we share with Shelby County and City of Harlan. Same amount as last year. So this is basically just so we can map all our utilities on GIS, and then the county kind of takes care of, doing the mapping for us, or at least managing the mapping.
And this was in budget, right?
Correct.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to accept that.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Hammer, aye.
Michelle, aye.
Seibert, aye.
Number 6, West Central Vendor Agreement through 9/30/2024.
Yeah, this is agreement to follow the LIHEAP and ECIP crisis program guidelines. Just when we, I guess, handle or work with that LIHEAP money people qualify for.
And this is nothing new. We've done this previously.
Done it past years, basically just saying that we're going to follow their guidelines as far as disbursement and so forth.
Okay, I'll make a motion we accept the
any major modifications this year?
No, I don't think there was, Jenny, right? No modifications to that?
No.
The LIHEAP stuff?
They added just this, they changed some verbiage, but nothing drastic.
I'll second the motion.
Roll call.
Hammer, aye.
Michelle, aye.
Seibert, aye.
Number 7, water valve rebuild quote for distribution system in the amount of $17,500, and it is budgeted.
Correct. This is basically to rebuild our pressure reducing valves in our distribution system for the water system. Rebuild them so they extend the life of the valves, and then it would lessen our maintenance cost also with those valves. But how many do we have, Donald, in the system?
I think there's like 13 in the system and 2 in the clear well.
Okay.
Usually maintenance is done every 2 years, but with the new epoxy coated equipment, we maybe wait 4 to 5 years before we ever have to touch them again. So.
Okay. So, but this was budgeted and scheduled for this fiscal year, correct?
Yep.
And how many valves does this do?
15 in total.
Yeah, I'll make the motion to approve that.
I'll second it.
Roll call.
Excuse me, Hammer, aye.
Michelle, aye.
Seibert, aye.
Number 8, security server replacement agreements, Oxen Electronic Contracting Company in the amount of $5,410.50 combined and budgeted.
Basically, this is to replace our existing fiscal server, and we convert that server to a virtual server for our security or, key fobs. That existing server is 2008 and has reached the end of its support from Microsoft. And then also the server hardware is out of warranty. So I mean, it's just time to upgrade the security system.
So the other one is a 2008?
Correct.
It's definitely time to replace.
Yeah. And I think, it's been limping along. We might have had a few little problems here and there.
It's a standalone Dell server that was put in when the building was built back in 2011, 2012. It's per server, it's overextended itself. So.
And why wasn't it done sooner?
Pardon?
Did we need it done sooner than what we're getting?
No, I think we've had some problems.
I've submitted it before to previously, Oxen's done quote on it before. So we pushed it through this year, on this year's budget, which was done.
So this was budgeted and scheduled to get done this fiscal year?
Yeah, this was budgeted for 23, 24.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Hammer, aye.
Michelle, aye.
Seibert, aye.
I'm sorry, so this will be done within the next, is there a due date on here? Did I?
I can't remember,
It's closer for 30 days, so it's in motion already.
So so after we approve it, you're gonna make sure that this happens?
Happens this year.
Yeah.
Great.
That involves the security company that does the cameras and the key fobs. They have the software and they work with Oxen to get it installed.
Good.
So, yeah, we don't want to get locked down on the key fobs.
Good.
Okay, number 9. Change order number 1 in the amount of $100,000 and pay application number 1 with project net being a decrease of $188,210.
Okay. First, I'll kind of explain that change order. The change order covers installing new piping into the existing well buildings. Previously, we were going to, as that was designed, we were going to connect to the existing piping coming out of the existing wells, about 20 feet outside the wells. We found out after a look at that, we didn't really have a way to clean that 20 to 25 foot, from the well out to this new connection. So we had the contractor look at, possibly what the cost would be to run into new piping all the way into the new wells. So that's basically where that $100,000 comes about, additional. Where we're talking about this net decrease, though, we did some changes as far as eliminating some cleanouts going through the project. So basically, there was some stuff that we eliminated and changed that at the end of the project we're going to see probably around $187,000 savings when it's all said and done, including that $100,000. So basically, we had a savings of about $287,000 with this $100,000 increase for the work at the existing wells. Then we would net that $188,000 decrease. One thing I would ask though tonight is that. Oh, sorry. One thing I do ask, I guess, tonight is that we approve that change order contingent on the USDA state engineer approving it. He was on vacation this week. We just found this out yesterday. that he hadn't gotten a chance to review it for the USDA. Looks like he'll be back and review it next week, but instead of trying to hold off till the next board meeting next month, if we could approve this contingent on USDA approval, then we can move forward, at least getting the contractor paid for the work he has done so far.
Then we won't delay the overall project a
Correct.
month.
Correct, because some of these change order items, also in that change order, the line, the new main going over to the east well field, we did some modifications on that. Changed the bore from one 16-inch diameter casing to a 10-inch water main bore, and then a 8-inch casing bore for the electrical and fiber. Actually, all that additional work, and we upsized the pipe from an 8 to a 10 going over to East Wellfield. That was actually a wash. I mean, that was a net zero change. But officially, they couldn't start on that work until we proved that that change order. So I guess the hope
Because it's all got to be documented.
Correct. And I think, you know, if we waited till next month to actually approve the change order, that contractor would be ready to start on that portion probably in a, you know, soon, week or two, you know, so we would be delaying them, I guess, if we didn't approve a contingent on USDA approval.
Well, I guess I don't think we want any delays.
Right.
No.
In worst case, I mean, there is worst case scenario is that the state engineer does not approve it. But then I think we would I would want to push, or at least ask that we have a special board meeting just to approve that change order, if there is any changes coming out of his review.
I guess I would make a motion that we approve the change.
Jim, did you have a comment? Okay, you're breaking up.
Yeah, so my question is, does the project,
We only heard
does the project,
we did not hear any of that. Can you text your question? Oh no, he's gone. Where's audio's gone now?
Until we get Jim's question, I really don't think we can make a motion on this.
Sure.
Because
Right.
I'll see if he can answer.
yeah, if he can,
This, maybe it'll work better.
yeah.
There, can you ask your question again?
yeah, the question is, does the project have a reserve? And is this the most important use of the reserve fund?
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Does the project have a reserve, and is this the important use for the reserves?
There is if I remember right, there's $340,000 in contingency funds, Jim.
We're not even tapping into that.
I guess we're not tapping into it at this point.
Yeah, I thought if this deemed to be that important to use the contingency reserve, that's my question.
You will be, right?
Right,
But
we won't be, I
they
mean, the net change is gonna be a decrease at the end of the project, as long as we don't have any other surprises. or
Did you hear
changes.
that, Jim?
I did, so my question is there is no reserve for this project?
No, there is a reserve, but they're not, this change order won't have them go into that reserve because the this is a net decrease of $188,000 by the time they're done with the project.
I got it. No other questions.
Okay.
The change is funded under the current.
I'm just gonna leave you all here.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we won't see that savings, I guess, or that net decrease until probably the end of the project. USDA typically
Right.
when the project's done, they want to go back and have a change order that specifically spells out the actual footages or you know, quantity that was actually installed, and then we'll have a final number, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I would make a motion that we approve the change order contingent on the USDA engineer approval. For the $100,000. Is that wording what you want?
Yes, that will work. Yep, that'll work for the change order, but then we do have that pay application number 1.
Okay.
That there's no issues with that. I think that was $570,000.
Yeah, so what you just said plus the pay app.
Okay, plus the pay, plus the pay application number 1.
Correct.
Okay, so just so I'm clear here, because I'm gonna have to second here, you're moving to change or accept change order number 1 as listed here, and the pay application, but contingent on the state USDA engineer review and approval?
Yes.
Okay, I'll second that.
Because he won't be back,
Correct.
he won't be
Contingent just
back
on-
until next week, and we don't want to wait till next month because that'll slow down the whole process, and we
Great.
don't want any delays.
No. Yeah,
So-
we're on the same page.
Okay.
Okay.
And you seconded it, right?
I second it, yes.
Okay.
Roll call.
Hammer, aye.
Michelle, aye.
Seibert, aye.
Jim?
Okay.
Number 10, resolution number 100-2023, updating the manual of benefits and personnel policies effective October 1st, 2023.
Yeah, and I can speak to that first, and then if, you know, Jim and Michelle have any additional comments, but basically this proposal is coming out of the administration committee meeting that we held. We're looking at adding 1 additional holiday. Basically that's moving, or adding a half a day, going from a half a day to a full day for Christmas Eve, and going from a half a day to a full day for New Year's Eve, totaling that 1 additional day. And then we're also proposing to change the HMU's vacation schedule by basically adding an additional week for vacation kind of across the board.
For them to earn.
But we feel this aligns us with other businesses and municipalities. I know Jenny did some checking with other businesses and municipalities to see where they were sitting compared to what our holiday and vacation schedules were. I guess this kind of aligns us with other municipalities especially. And then I guess, I mean, we're looking at that as far as to help attract new employees and also retain our existing employees. And then we also were going to have in there as far as giving me the, I guess, authority to match vacation of a new employee if that new employee already has our required certifications from their previous employment. So that would basically be probably just linemen and anybody probably in the water plant that might come with
Professional license person.
or professional
10 years of
certifications.
service
You know, and that
somewhere.
way we're not paying for that schooling, paying for that, you know, training.
So if they come to us with 10 years of service, then we can look at what,
Yeah,
10
if
years
they've
of
already got
service.
that in place, it's like, and they're saying, well, I don't want to start back off at 1 week or 2 weeks, you know, I was,
Yeah, we did in the past, we had a lineman that we were looking at hiring a few years ago that had 15 years of experience as a lineman. So going back down to 1 week, we kind of lost out on him.
So this way then we give them, it's up to
It'll be
Joe.
up to Joe, and he won't have to come to the board every
Yeah.
time. He can just
Okay.
make that
And
decision.
there's no net cost difference in this.
correct.
There's no,
Right. And we actually took away 1 holiday or a floating day and made that into the 2 half-days, is that what
Yeah,
we did?
there won't be a floating holiday
Right.
anymore now.
We
So
just
it'll be a
added,
full day.
split that out.
okay.
I make the motion to approve that.
I'll second it.
Jim? Okay.
Is he still on the phone, Joe?
I think so.
Yeah, I voted in favor.
Okay.
Okay.
Roll call.
Hammer, aye.
Michelle, aye.
Seibert, aye.
Shall I?
He voted aye.
Thank you.
I jumped the gun on that one.
Number 11, competitive bid results and contract for electrical department office.
Line and construction was a lone responsive bid. We did get one other bid, but it wasn't completely filled out.
Okay.
But the total cost was approximately what we were looking at, you know, from the start. We kind of got some estimates for some numbers. But we would like to propose using our preferred subcontractor for the heating and cooling item. Be accepted since, you know, he's the one, HMU Mechanical, he's the one that maintains our heating and cooling systems now. That would be an additional $1,120 on top of Linen's bid.
So Linen did not include the HVAC?
He did. He had somebody else that he typically uses. But in that case, like I said, we kind of wanted to use our preferred contractor. We had that written in, actually had that written into the specs, that we'd like to use our preferred contractor is so-and-so, you know, please get a number from them. So basically, he did get a number from our preferred subcontractor for both the electric and for the heating and cooling. But he was higher in both those cases.
And the reasoning would be is because he does do all of our maintenance on our heating and cooling system already.
Now, so I mean, I guess, I'm feeling we could justify that additional $1,120 above what he bid.
What's the electric preferred on option 3?
That was the same case. If we would use the same preferred subcontractor, which is HMU Mechanical, for the electrical, that would be an additional $5,600. But we decided, I guess I'm opting that I don't think it's worth
Using him for that.
Correct. I mean, we don't necessarily have to use the preferred contractor on that, subcontractor on that. I would say we would go ahead and allow.
Option number 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so option 2 is what we're looking at.
Right.
Okay.
And just to make sure that the other competitive bid was incomplete, so we really can't consider that one.
Correct.
And there was no other ones, or was there any other interest or anybody else that?
Yeah, we had 4 sets of plans and specs out, all local. Those were the only 2 that responded.
Okay. If you don't, there's no other discussion,
No.
I'll move to accept option 2.
And I'll second that.
Roll call.
Hammer, aye.
Michelle, aye.
Seibert, aye.
Jim?
Yeah, I'm gonna abstain on this one, just because I think there was, I'm not sure how we do preferred contractors, and then we don't accept an incomplete bid over.
So you're going to vote nay?
I'm gonna abstain. I'm not voting nay, I'm not gonna let you vote on this one, because I think it's kind of.
You can't. Jim, I don't think you can abstain unless there's a conflict of interest.
Okay, then I'm voting no.
Okay, thank you. Number 12, information only. Treasurer's report for July.
Yeah, I don't know if you had a chance to kind of look that over. Any questions?
I didn't have any questions.
Okay.
Nope.
Do we need a motion on that or anything? We don't need.
No.
Okay.
No, that's just for review only.
Okay, and now we're up to Joe, number 13, CEO's report.
I've just got a few items. Just wanted to mention the raw water project is going well. Actually met with the boring contractor today. They are scheduled to be on site on Monday. They'll start with this north bore up by Highway 44 and then move to the south one down towards the sewage treatment plant. That all should get done. I think they're thinking, you know, they'd be done probably next week as long as everything goes like expected.
So our wells are gonna be all dug and,
No, this is just our main and electrical and communication stuff to get across the river.
This is the bore under the river, right?
Under the river, correct.
under the river.
Yep.
Through the woods.
And they are starting to haul fill dirt in because we got to build up all the new wells, build up all the new locations for transformers also to get them up above the 500-year flood. But like I said, I think things are progressing well. They're moving right along. I mean, we're happy with the work they're doing.
We keep getting parts, they keep moving like they need parts are over.
Yeah, like I said, fittings and stuff are still just a struggle for them to get, but They're trying to
Well,
keep.
that was to the expected, wasn't it?
Oh, it is, yeah. Wanted a reminder again for our customers to complete their lead service line surveys, which is on our website. As I'd mentioned before, if our employees need to go door to door to complete the surveys, there would likely be some additional expense to HMU, due to maybe some overtime or after hours work to go in and actually do those lead service line surveys.
So you're saying if customers aren't getting their pictures in, and if we have to go to their house, are you gonna charge that customer extra, or are you gonna charge all the customers extra?
We'll get charged extra. It's just something that it's gonna take more time out of the guys. I'm gonna shift schedules around. It's gonna be overtime. We're gonna have to start going door to door and getting in the houses and getting information.
But that's still,
Yeah, there will be an extra cost in wages.
Yeah.
right, so that will be an extra cost in wages if we don't get customers to get, so in reality, we should get all the customers to try to get those pictures taken and get them into the office so we don't have to start this overtime.
Yeah, the more, the better, for sure. And I know you're gonna shift things around, maybe have some guys come in
Later.
a little later so then they can work, into the evening a little ways, and catch people at home after work. But
So a quick question, are we gonna bill the individual customers that they don't comply with our requests? Or how are we gonna differentiate the ones that are complying with the request and providing information and those that don't?
I have records of everybody that's submitted lead service line inventories, which only consists of about 23 individuals in all of Harlan.
How many are?
yeah, and the thought process is, Jim, that I guess I wasn't feeling that we can bill them directly. This
is something that's mandated from the EPA. I don't see how we can individually bill a customer for us having to run around and get that information.
Yeah, we're just simply trying to comply with EPA.
So could we put another little thing out on
Oh, like we did with the little contest
internet?
or whatever?
Can we do another internet throw out, or?
Yeah, we put it on our Facebook page a couple times, and I believe it might have been in last 2 months' newsletters.
2 months newsletter.
I'll try and remind my husband for his rentals,
Sure.
because if they aren't gonna do it, then he can just
And I
go
think
knock on the door and say, hey, I need to do this.
Newspaper did an article too on it.
And the newspaper did an article on it, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Radio.
On the radio?
So.
Why don't we throw it out on the radio, on the internet, and Facebook one more time?
Oh yeah, we can, we're gonna keep doing it, but
Okay.
we can just keep
So-
trying.
So all those individuals that are watching, please get your pictures taken.
Couple more items, I guess, if there's any questions, more questions on that. Trevor Harrison passed his grade 2 distribution certification.
Very good.
And I have one anniversary for August, Paul Winger, 23 years.
Wow, good, nice.
Other than that, and I know maybe we were gonna mention too, what your thoughts were, and I didn't do that under item 9. I guess Jenny and I talked about it a little bit. What is the board's feelings on the pay apps? Would you rather still see those come and get approved? Or if they're not a change order, it's part of the contract?
We would probably have to do that as a separate motion. What we were thinking was as the pay orders come in, as the pay apps, bring them to the board as an FYI, but allow Joe to sign off on them so we can make payments sooner. But we would have to make that a motion so that they would allow that. So we'd probably have to wait till the next one.
Oh, I see, okay.
Okay.
But maybe just keep that in mind, I don't
Okay.
know.
To have it on the
If you don't mind, and I think time-wise, it's not like we're holding the payment up, bringing it to the board. So, if you would rather we bring those every, not just an FYI, but actually have them so you guys can approve them each month. Either or works, but.
Either way, you'll know about it. It's just whether you're approving it or just
FYI.
Informed about it.
Okay.
Didn't know what your thoughts are. Maybe we can consider that, like you said, next month.
I would bring that, to
Okay.
next month's meeting.
Yeah. That's all I have.
Any questions?
How are we doing on the water watch?
Good. The customers have been doing their part to conserve, and we are maintaining. The plant has actually shut down a couple times, which is wonderful. But still, this heat, just a constant reminder that we need to keep conserving.
Which was my next question for on air. We're doing okay with peaking. There's no issues with electricity. We're not anticipating any constrictions. There's no,
Nope.
we're not asking people to do anything at all with that, are we?
Nope.
Okay.
I called this morning and everything is good.
And like I said, we still got our generators ready to roll if we need to.
Do you still maintain the services?
Yep. We just had the,
Stack test.
yeah, the stack test done on the one here a couple months ago.
Yep.
You know, just make sure that all checks out. I think that's every 5 years. We got to do that, but that passed.
For the catalytic converter.
Yeah. The other one is just strictly emergency only. I mean, that, we don't have the catalytic converter on
I was
there.
going to say, number 2's been in reserve for a long time.
Right, but at least, I mean, we can run it in an emergency situation.
But it still gets tested on a regular basis, and so we know it works, right?
Oh, yeah, they both
Yeah.
are on a contract and both get tested. Absolutely.
Okay, well, that's all I was worried about.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, they're both tested.
And it's supposed to cool down
Yes,
and rain.
Well, yeah,
After tonight,
eventually, you know, like
10 o'clock or something.
November or December, it'll cool down.
January, well, when we're worried about whether we have enough gas or not.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else.
Oh, I'm
Okay.
good.
So the meeting is adjourned.